Hi everyone, this is Jais, also known as Arcan on Discord. I'm French and I'm going to play a game of Ironsworn, which is a tabletop role-playing game created by Sean Tompkins. So if I make some mistakes in English, please apologize and don't hesitate to correct me. I'd like to play this game because it's a good way to actually force myself into playing, and also it's a good way to try out the interface I've designed to play Ironsworn, which is Tales of Iron. And so I'll try to make this probably regular if I can, probably posting some videos in French and some videos in English as well. I'm not very gifted using OBS or twitching or anything. Maybe I'll do live streams later, but for the moment it's just gonna be a few videos here and there posted on YouTube, I guess. So in order to play this game, as I said, I'm going to use Tales of Iron. You have, if you're interested to play online, there are several tools that you can use. Tales of Iron is one of them. There is also a very good Roll20 character sheet, which is available for Ironsworn, and a few other companions, probably one on Android, I guess. So feel free to check them out and choose the tool that you are most comfortable with. If you want to play online. For this game, I have decided to go with a totally randomly generated character, actually, which I thought might be fun, trying to adapt to the randomness of rolling a character from scratch without knowing actually what I'm going to play. I'm not going to do the whole building the world or setting the truths step, because I believe that other YouTubers and other people on YouTube have done that in a much better way that I could probably do. So I'm not going to do it myself. I have quite a rough idea of what my Iron lands are going to be. But I'd like to convey the feelings through the game, actually, and not going into the whole set your truth step. So without any further wait, let's create a character. So I'm going to play an Ironlander, not one of those special races. Also, I believe, and I will take from granted that you have already heard of Ironsworn. If it's not the case, every material can be checked out online on ironswornrpg.com. Ironsworn is a free-to-download role-playing game, so the PDF can be purchased actually for free. And the book, softcover or hardcover, is not very expensive as well. So you have to check that out because it is an incredible game. Very interesting. A lot of options, and it's a narrative game, and it can be played solo. It can be played co-op, which is without any game master. Or it can be played guided, which is the regular way of playing tabletop playing games with a game master. So yeah, I'm going to play this game solo, and I will assume that you have heard enough of the game so that I don't have to enter into the details. You have very good videos. I will probably post a few links to some podcasters who are doing a very amazing job at posting videos on a regular basis and their actual plays. So this character, is going to be, he or she, I don't know, is going to be an Islander, and I'm going to go for the standard standard attribute set, which is 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. I could go for challenging, I could go for grim, but let's stick to the standard, which is this one, the perilous one. And I think that, it might be interesting because to do that randomly, because Ironsworn is actually a game in which you always have the possibility to fight your way out of things, but you also have, and most of the time, you can actually avoid a lot of fights, and therefore combat is not that big of a part of the game, actually. Some characteristics, some attributes are more important than others, I believe. Especially heart and wits. Ironsworn is inspired by the Apocalypse, so you have moves in this game, and a lot of the moves actually use heart and wits as default attributes to roll, and whereas some other moves offer you options. You can, depending on the approach and the narrative, actually you can choose the attribute you're going to use. A lot of moves doesn't give you this opportunity, and heart and wits are actually attributes that are very, very useful in playing a game of Ironsworn. So I hope I'm not gonna end with a 1 in those two attributes, because it's gonna make things quite difficult in a solo game, actually. So let's try that. Let's randomly generate those attributes. So what do I have here? We have Edge 2. Edge is basically represents the ability to shoot your way out of things. It's the ability, agility, prowess with range combat as well. Heart 1. So heart covers everything that is social related or courage as well, and sort of moral value. 1 in heart means that my character is probably not going to be that brave, or maybe a bit stepped back from society, or having troubles interacting with people. 3 in iron. 3 in iron, so this is definitely a combat oriented character. He is probably tough, strong. He or she is probably tough, strong, and maybe muscular, gifted with weapons, close combat weapons. 1 in shadow suggests that this character is not particularly gifted with manipulating people or hiding or being discreet in any way. So it's probably going to be, I'm starting to sketch something in my mind, because that's the whole idea of randomly generating a character. So it's probably, going to be like this massive bulk of flesh, like a very, very big one, probably sort of the thing that comes into my mind is this this character from the Expanse series and books, the Martian Marine, Roberta Draper, I guess is the name, who is described in the books as like a gigantic woman. So maybe that could be this kind of image. Actually, it could be fun. 2 in wits means that it is someone that is rather a quick thinker, who's seen things actually, and who's got some experience with having to survive and having to probably think fast. So not like a stupid warrior, basically. Okay, that's fun. That's very fun. Let's have a look at the assets, because the assets will mostly determine the role of the character per se. And then I hope I won't get like a Archer asset or something. Okay, let's do random for this. Oh wow, veteran, dancer, and totem. Oh, that's interesting. All right. Veteran, dancer, and totem. What am I gonna do with those? So, yeah, I'll probably have a look at those assets. I forgot to put them in my Firefox. I will open them in Firefox right now. But yeah, that might be interesting actually. Veteran could actually fit this idea of like an experienced warrior. Yeah, that could be fun. Who've seen like things, not really war, because there were no real wars in the Ironlands, considering the fact that the Ironlands were actually built in the colonies of the Ironland was settled like 2 generations ago. So where's my master asset? Here it is. Okay. Master set. Yeah. Okay. So we have veteran. Veteran, when you burn momentum to improve your results in combat, envision how your hard-won fighting experience gives you the upper hand. Then take plus momentum after you reset. If you improve yourself from a miss to a weak hit, you also take initiative. That's interesting. Okay, then when you send Iron Vow to someone who fought beside you or forge a bond with them at plus 20 plus momentum on a hit, when you resupply by looting the dead and field battle at plus 1 plus momentum on a hit. Okay. Yeah, so that actually fits the this idea of having someone who is used to be like probably I'm not going to say military, because there's no military force per se in the islands, but probably like a warden or someone experienced with militia, or or like a high-ranking guard for a big settlement, probably. Okay. The second asset, dancer. Wow, that's a new asset, if my memory serves well. It's one of these assets added in the volume 3 of the assets. So the dancer, which is, I mean, it's funny because if I envision this like massive, gigantic character having this character dance, looks like rather clumsy. I don't know. When you secure an advantage with age by dancing for an audience at +1 and take +2 momentum on a hit. On a strong hit, one time only, you may also add +2 if you make a move to interact with an audience member. Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that actually. May check with the last asset, totem, first. Totem is a ritual, if my memory serves well, yeah. And so when you hold a totem of your animal companion and focus on it, roll +heart. On a strong hit, you are bound together. Add +1 and take +1 momentum on hit. Okay, so this actually, I don't think this asset is pretty relevant, because it makes no sense if you do not have an animal companion, which a companion would be an asset as well. So if you do not have the animal companion asset first, I don't think there's any point in choosing totem as an asset. So probably need to discard this one. Not that I want to cheat with the randomness that I have generated, but it's a question of logic here. So I'm going to keep veteran. I'm going to keep dancer. Even if I absolutely don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Although 2 in age is actually not that bad. I mean, it's someone who is quite good actually. So maybe he or she can be, but I'm rather maybe go for a she actually. Maybe she can be like a good dancer. I don't know. And I'm going to re-roll totem. Oathbreaker. I think you can't take this one if you haven't broken an oath, so it's not possible. Masked. Oh, oh, that's crazy. Masked. Okay, masked is a path. I think it's a path that implies a connection with elves. This is an asset once you mark a bond with elves, so it's possible if one of my beginnings bond should be with an elf. Then you are gifted with a mask, and depending on the material you choose for this mask, when you wear the mask and you make a move that use this stat, it adds +1. So if you roll a 1 on your action dice, have a -1 to the associated track in addition to any other outcome of the move. Okay, that's very interesting. So it suggests that this character has, in a way, a connection with an elvish community or something else. Okay, right, that's interesting. I'm going to keep it, of course. And then comes the name. Okay. I would almost be tempted to take like a giant name, maybe. I mean, it is not heard of mixture of races in Ironsworn, like elf giants and this kind of things. But I don't think you can. Elf name is also interesting because if I relate to the fact that she's got the masked assets, so she could actually have 2 names. She could have an Ironlander name and an Elvish name, which is interesting. Let's roll for the Ironlander name first. Mila, I love it. That's very nice. So I'm going to keep Mila, and I'm going to roll for an Elvish name, which will be like and it's going to be her Elvish name as well. So half random. Ninsunu. Oh, that's lovely. So she's going to be Mila Ninsunu. Yeah, I like it. And, well, I guess we have it. So we have Mila Ninsunu. 2 age, 1 heart, 3 eye, and 1 shadow, and 2 wits. And she's a veteran, she's a dancer, and she might wear a mask. Okay, and I'm going to determine which attribute the mask affects in a minute. So I'm going to submit this, and it is not working. What's going on? Maybe it's this. Oh no, it's working. Here it is. It's a bit long. My mistake. I shall correct this actually. So, right. So I'm going to write a few notes about everything that we have said. So, so far, she is like a tall woman. She's a tall woman, probably. I mean, more than 6 feet tall, obviously. And I don't have the conversion in mind. I'm thinking meters, obviously, as I'm French. But she's probably like a little bit over 2 meters high. Yeah, so like 2 meters high. And she is more than 100 kilos, definitely, of muscles. She is like a very impressive woman. I don't know if that's actually yeah, she's probably dark haired, and her hair is probably, I wouldn't say her hair is that long. She's probably like cut it square so that it doesn't impede her fighting abilities. It doesn't come into her eyes when she fights, this kind of thing. So yeah, probably dark haired, mid long, I would say. Okay, and we know that she has a connection with, with elves or an elvish community. I'm not going to go into a lot of details here because this is actually not the idea, and I want to keep those videos short so that I can chain them easily or that they can be easily watched. But so I'm going to start quite soon a first scene, and probably in media res. So I'm not going to dive too much into his bio for the moment. But I will probably do that as the game continues. So she has a connection with elves and the Elvish community. She's probably, I think she is probably quite blunt, as Heart, one in Heart suggests. She's quite blunt. Almost, I wouldn't say down to earth, but she's probably kind of open to, she's very open to nature. Actually, she could have been, if she were not for her huge constitution, she would probably in her mind have preferred to be a hunter or something like that. She feels quite close to nature. Yeah, maybe she resents huge size a bit. Could be something. Yeah, resent giant size. The question mark here. All right, let's see what we have. Okay, and as for the assets, yeah, I need to choose one of the options here. Which one would I choose? Thunderwood, Edge, Iron, Shadow, or Wits? Interesting. You cannot choose. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, you cannot choose Heart. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna roll for it, basically. So I'm going to roll like the dice 1, 2 will be yeah, roll dice. Okay, so I should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to re-roll. So let's roll 3. 1, 2, 3. Ghostwood, Shadow. Shit. This is one of my weakest. Yeah, this is one of my weakest attributes, but why not? Hey. So, masked. I'm going to update the asset condition, and here I'm going to choose that this mask is made of ghostwood. Made of ghostwood. Okay. Alright, so it is made of ghostwood, meaning that when I wear it, if I gain +1 on every move that uses the shadow stat. Okay, alright. Right, Mila Ninsunu. Ninsunu probably means something in Elvish. I'm just going to figure that. What would that mean? Yeah, it's probably like this is probably something related to her size, obviously. Elvish means like maybe not giant, but force of nature or something. Yeah, could be fine. Force of nature. Mila, force of nature. Yeah, that's fine. Right. So I said that I would probably start right now with a small scene and with a scene that would start in media res, as I have no idea what I'm going to. Oh, I forgot a couple of things. I forgot the bounds and the starting vowels, of course, obviously, my mistake. So the first bound will be with an Elvish community. This Elvish community, alright, it's gonna be probably in the whites, let's be honest. I'm going to start. I'm going to randomly generate a couple of things for this location settlement name. Timberwall, why not? Yeah, that's fine. So an Elvish community, the name of which will be known in the standard Ironlander language, which is probably English, as Timberwall. Oops. Okay. We will define all this a little bit later. I mean, how she came to create this bound and everything. You know, I don't want to overload this first session. The second bound that she might have will be will be with a priest. Yeah, that's interesting. A vagrant. Yeah. I have no idea what a vagrant is actually. Sorry. What is that? Train station vagrant. It is like vagabond. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go for the vagrant. Actually, I have an idea. This is Solana. So the second bond would be with Solana, who used to be like. So she is a vagrant from the community that Mila actually comes from, and she is the one who actually taught her to dance. Yeah. Interesting. And the third community will probably be with Saturn. The third bond, will probably be with her own settlement. Let's go for a settlement named Dragon Shadow. Wow, this is something. Dragon Shadow. Okay. All right. So, Mila's community called Dragon Shadow. Dragon Shadow. Where would that be? Interesting. Where would Dragon Shadow be? Let's have a look at the island maps. That's interesting. If we look at the map, so we have the coastal region here. The whites are here. Dragon shadow to me suggests, I don't know, I have the idea of hills, or maybe caves in the hills. So yeah, it might be a settlement, the settlement down maybe in the Tempest Hills. I don't know. Is it too much? Let's have a look at the word description from the book. So this is the Ironsworn PDF, and we're gonna have a look at the word here. It's chapter 4. Yeah. Tempest here, stinted forest, howling winds, mist-shrouded waterfall, mining settlements, nomad encampments, and hiding the caravan holdings, warrior giants keeping their distance. That's interesting. So maybe she is like the product of a giant and a human. Who knows? I don't know. And mammoth. Yeah. So highlands defined by rugged hills and low mountains, thin conifer woods and wide grassy plateaus. Yeah, let's go for that. She comes from the Tempest Hill. So Dragon Shadow, Tempest Hills. So I'm going to set that somewhere. So if we have a look at the map, Tempest Hills. The Tempest Hills are here. It's this band of on the map here, right above the hinterlands, which is a sort of a forest. Above the wilds, which is usually this huge jungle where the elves are, and the heavens, which are plains basically, and the hinterlands. I think, if my memory serves well, it's the hem of the Varu. Yes, that's right. Very bad. Okay. Right. So yes, she comes from the Tempest Hills, and I'm going to use the quest starter. Yeah, I've come across the land of a rich source of unclaimed iron and silver among these hills. What hazard must be overcome? Become mine can be established. What force up establishes some claim. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna use the quest starter here. Maybe not. I'll see. All right. So she comes from the Tempest Hill. Maybe I'm going to quickly do something regarding this settlement, or maybe not. Maybe later. Yeah, I'm going to probably take notes for the moment, and then I had the settlement later. Right. So this is for the bonds. So I'm going to mark a few bonds here. Increase, and increase. I have 3 bonds here. Now, what about the vows? We need 2 things. We need a background vow, and we need like a starting vow, which is related to the inciting incident. The inciting incident would be determined probably randomly, which is going to be the in media res start. But what would be, or what could be, a background vow which must be epic or extreme? That's a good question. And for that, I'm going to use randomness again and roll on the action and theme oracles. Summon Destiny. Shit, that helps. Summon Destiny. So, interesting. As a famous podcaster would say, reading Ironsworn. Yeah, Summon Destiny. I may have an idea, actually. I think that Mila Mila has been raised in Dragon Shadow as maybe as a recovered child. She has been abandoned somewhere, and so she doesn't know who her parents really are. She has like foster parents basically, but she doesn't know about her real parents. And maybe one of the vow would be like a destiny would be to discover who our real parents are and find them if they're still alive. Yeah. So let's say that this is find my like real parents. And this is going to be like an extreme quest, not an epic one, but extreme quest. Right. And the page has reloaded. Okay. Find my real parents. So I'm going to add a few information here. Maybe actually I'm going to do that in the bio. So she has been abandoned at birth, probably, or when she was a baby, and she had foster parents but doesn't know anything about her real parents. Yeah, that's nice. Well, sorry. Right. Okay, we get into something here. Now, as for the starting vow, let's play. Let's roll on the action theme, or maybe settlement trouble. I don't know. I'm going to roll on the action theme, and if I have some inspiration, if I don't, I'll roll on the settlement trouble. I try to keep the quest starter in mind, maybe whether from mind can be established, yeah, like a rich source of income. That can be something actually. I mean, using this quest starter, the quest starter are here for that, so maybe I'll use that, I don't know. Action and theme, persevere stranger. Ah, interesting, yeah. And what about the settlement? Incompetent leadership. Oh, wow. Oh, this is interesting actually. Yeah, gives me an idea. Of someone arriving in Dragon Shadow and like maybe no, that's what Okay, no, I have another idea. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Right. So I'm just going to roll for settlement name. I'm going to use the. I'm going to mix those rolls that I did with the quest starter suggested for the Tempest here. It's actually Hycan. Very good name. Okay, so we are dealing with Hycan. I'm going to write this here. Hycan. And before actually making a post here, I'm going to write a few notes here. Hycan. Right. So I envision Mila being in a settlement in the Tempest here called Hycan. It is a very, very new settlement, very recently established earlier in the year, during spring, and so if we consider that we are now in autumn, it's been like 6 months ago that this settlement has been established, and it's a mining settlement. It is a mining settlement that has been set on a newly discovered iron mine, iron string, and for the moment there's only like a low number of miners, and maybe a few members of their families. Their families actually haven't rejoined them entirely. It's probably like a very, very small settlement of less than 50 people, I would say. And this settlement is led. Funny, it's led by a healer. By Juliana. A healer. And Juliana, this healer, although quite good at doing what let's say it's a he, although quite gifted at healing, probably is not that much of a leader. It's probably someone who has struggle with authority, and actually not really capable of imposing his own authority to the other people of High Cairn. And it is might be the setting of like a dispute of his authority when Mila actually arrives in the settlement. So we have. I'm just going to set the context here for the actual the following game. I'm not gonna do a first scene contrary to what I thought first, but I'm going to set the context here. We have this new mine, new settlement, mining settlement called High Cairn. We are in autumn. And we have this leader, Juliana. Okay, I'm gonna write that later. And he's a good healer, but a poor leader. His authority is disputed, and we will introduce the arrival of a new character, newly arrived character wants to take over, and then we will have to take a side, whether it is Juliana's side or this new character's side. Harm arrival, very good. So a thief, interesting, a new character. So it's a thief, and his name is Mura. Mura, a thief. So we don't know he's a thief, but actually he's probably here to make profits. And he wants to take over, and and we're going to stop here probably. It's a short recording, but just to set the settings actually for this adventure. And I hope you like this. I hope you'll follow the following of the adventures of Mila Ninsunu, Mila the force of nature. And please keep me. And do not hesitate to post any comments on this video and correct me for the mistakes I could make in English as well. And I hope to see you very soon, and maybe a live stream soon. Thank you for following. Bye bye.